Continuing this morning's devotion, lack of peace is the spiritual homework. Yes, I'm hoarse because I left the fan on. Let's see, and it's still turn it off. Okay, I'll just leave the air purifier on. A lack of peace. So I mentioned earlier on the prior devotion, the last one, titled Hard to Say I'm Sorry or Hard to Say Sorry. The unfortunate, paths that can be traveled with lying, deceit, jealousy, envy, what it leads to when someone has done wrong and they refuse to come forward and admit to it, but hire counsel to defend it and hide behind it and not be honest. And I then went into why I believe the Spirit has me doing these devotions as well, to remain honest, to have integrity, for accountability. And I shared my grandmothers, how much they poured into me about going along the right path, the principles they taught me, even through the Bible. That was my heritage, my background, Christianity. So my grandmother did have a thick children's Bible. And she would have me read a passage and then quiz me or give me questions. So this is how I was raised. And I ventured into, well, maybe others didn't have it, but no, that's not true, because there were others alongside me or others I knew of that appeared to have the same solid upbringing, the same principles, the same morals taught, that didn't necessarily go that path, that direction. So coming back to this one, a lack of peace, I think the other side of it, I did mention it's not my part to chase. It isn't. To chase lies, demons, whatever you want to call it, evil, that's not my part. My part is to speak up. I made a devotion about that, titled Speak Up, or I do my report. I do say what happened. But chasing lies, chasing demons, fighting, no, that's not my part. That's the Holy Spirit. So why do others persecute those who follow the Holy Spirit, whether you call yourself a believer or not? There are stories in the Bible, I'm not going to lie, and like I know them all, or that I know them very well, of Joseph, of David, and I'm not saying any of them are perfect, of Jesus, of course, the story, the life of Jesus. And basically what I learned through my teachings, or through their teachings, study or experiences and observation, is for the most part the light, the choice to do right is not an easy one, but it's the better one. It definitely is the better one. To be honest, to come forward, to not pay your way out of things, or to solicit help that will lie for you. Because one of the questions I posed in my last devotion, well, what happens when people plot together? And I'm like, I don't really want to see that. No. Lord, that's, I can't imagine. But the one thing I can probably imagine is the lack of peace. Because only through devotions, through a spiritual walk, a spiritual journey, and listening and being on that path, is there peace. A good conscience, accountability, because I'm following the one I'm listening to the Spirit that's true. The Spirit doesn't practice evil. The fruits of the Spirit are what? Joy, kindness, love, I guess compassion, mercy. All those things I probably got off. Faith, I think. Hope, I don't know. But never in there does it name jealousy, envy, cover-ups, false accusations. Like, no. None of that is in there. So listening to the Holy Spirit is so crucial to remaining honest, to having conviction, scruples, what's it called, a conscience. Disconnecting from that is where I think the lack of peace the lack of joy, because you can't have both. You can't practice evil. You can't lie. You can't cover yourself or falsely accuse someone else. Dodge, your consequences or whatever, the repercussions, and think that that's okay. The Holy Spirit is not going to, make you accountable for those things, because no one's exempt. No one is exempt. If it's true for one, it's true for all. I'm not sure if that line, he's not a respecter of persons, really applies. But in other words, there aren't people that are more important than others. There aren't VIPs in the kingdom. Well, no, you get a pass. You get favor. No, or an elite that, no, you can do a little, you can lie. You can get away with it. It's okay. It's okay. No, it's not. Based on what? Who said that? I know we have casts or classifications and whatever we categorize, and that's, from what I understand, my heart of hearts, that's not the heart of the Holy Spirit, to pass judgment only on the poor or the weak or the disadvantaged or the unfortunate, and give a pass to everyone else.